Hello, and welcome back to Not That You Asked with Henry and Kiley, the podcast that walks the fine line between life advice and talking shit. If you like today's episode, you can find all of our uploads on YouTube at Not That You Asked Podcast and on SoundCloud at Not That You Asked with Henry and Kiley. You can also find us and stay in touch on Instagram at Not That You Asked Podcast. The link for that is in the description. We hope you enjoy today's episode. Hello.
Hello. Welcome
Hi.
back to Henry's Wet Garage.
Oh, that sounds like a euphemism. Yeah,
Welcome.
I apologize for the way that it probably sounds right now, considering you might pick up a little bit of rain and maybe a touch of thunder. I didn't hear any in the playback when we were just doing like a sound test before,
That's good.
but I just wanted to
Let you know.
say something. Yeah.
We're letting you know.
So,
Don't even worry about it.
thanks for checking in. Thanks for
Stopping
saying
by.
hey. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening or
We're good.
whatever. I don't know. Or if
I
you
don't know.
don't. I just checked out our analytics and I'm depressed, but
Hey, depression is always sometimes.
yeah, I just have clinical depression because I went to college.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you really
Me?
do.
But hey,
Yeah.
coming out stronger.
True.
Gonna go work at McCormick Center, McCormick Civic Center.
Oh my god.
Get paid $96 an
Please don't.
hour taking care of corona patients.
Please do not do that.
Oh my god, that would be.
You'd be such a hero, and we need you to do it. But
I
I'm
would
so
probably
scared for
die.
you.
Oh my god, probably die.
Yeah, you'd likely get infected.
I love that asthma that I have. Puts me at risk. Woo.
Let's not talk about coronavirus.
Let's not talk about it.
I don't
Okay.
want to. What's up?
What's up? Nothing much.
I'm sad about Ellie.
Oh yeah, I'm sad about Ellie too.
Do you not want to talk about
No,
it?
we can do a little talk about it. We're putting my dog down of 15 years
It's so sad.
on Friday. She's very old. She recently
very
became
blind.
blind. She can't hear anything anymore. It's sad, but it needs to be done because we don't want my baby puppy to suffer. So, rip Elbow.
Rip Elbow, dude.
Rip Elbow, Roxy,
Love
Ellie
that dog.
Mae.
I only ever
Elvis.
called her Roxy.
Yeah, everybody called her Roxy, even though that's not her fucking name. But
It is
she
her
would
name.
answer to it. She would. Because everyone called her that so often.
I know. Like, I think it was me, or was it me, or was it? I think it was me.
It was either you or Hallie.
Yeah.
It might have been both of you, honestly.
I think, yeah. And it just stuck. Like,
It really did. I don't
yeah.
know why.
Roxy. Lovely
Yeah.
lady.
Lovely lady.
Because at the same time, we have to put down Katie.
Yeah.
We don't. It's not confirmed, but like we had her in
It's
like
likely.
we had her in like cat quarantine because she was peeing on
Yeah.
everything, and then she got like an antibiotic shot, and then we kept her in the laundry room for a couple days in like cat Guantanamo, where she didn't do anything wrong, but we didn't know what was wrong with her, but she didn't necessarily wasn't guilty of crimes yet, so we just kind of left her there, and we were like, stay. And then
Yeah.
we let her out today as like the inaugural welcome Katie back into society day, and like 3 hours in, she tried to pee on something in Hallie's room.
Oh.
So we put her back in the laundry room.
Yeah.
We might just like let her out for a couple hours a day.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know.
fair.
It's sad, so we're just
It
gonna
is
see what's
sad.
up. But anyway, enough sadness.
And that's enough of that
we're gonna
bullshit.
we're gonna do what is actually in the description of this podcast, which is we're gonna do a little bit of talking life advice, and we're
Yes.
definitely gonna do a lot of talking shit.
Yeah. So much talking shit.
We have some truth or truth ready for today, but
Yes, we do.
we planned a bunch of questions, but actually we right before recording we got a Snapchat from a friend,
Very good
a
friend.
very very close friend of ours whom we love deeply.
Yes.
Unfortunately is a friend of ours from high school. We've kind of fallen out of touch, but you have gotten Kylie. Has
Yeah,
gotten
recently
back
I've gotten
in touch with him.
Yeah, we've been snapping a lot. He's such a pal. Literally, what a great human being to
Good
be
person.
around.
Yeah.
And just even talking to him through Snapchat has been great because he's such a phenomenal human being. Like that's it. That's who he is. He's just the best.
Yeah. Oh shit! I meant to mention before we.
Oh, yeah,
go into
before
life
we
advice,
start.
We're
Before we
sponsored
start.
today unofficially by two brothers. We're drinking Citra United India
Yes.
Pale Ale.
It's pretty good.
It's
I
pretty
think
good.
it's pretty good.
Definitely would be better poured.
I would agree with that.
Like getting a little bit of a metal taste,
I
but it
yeah,
might be
that's
from the
what I thought.
cap,
It might, I
which
was
is making me
thinking
think
that
it may be
too.
better canned.
Okay,
Brewers prefer a canned.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, here's the thing with Spotted Cow, the bottle tastes better. Bottle tastes better than the
I
can.
disagree.
Really?
I like the can better.
Oh,
like
I
Scarlet
love the
Calf.
bottle better.
You talked about that on the episode that
We
we recorded a dud episode, but
yeah, and we did not like it because we were very unprepared.
I know it was basically what this episode is gonna be, except this episode's gonna be good.
Yeah, hopefully.
Don't say that.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's good. Like it.
It's gonna be good.
Or not.
Idiots.
Like it. Or
so
else.
we got this. We got a snapshot from a friend, and this is actually something that we both are uniquely equipped to answer.
Yes.
As people who have very different relationships with their parents.
Yes.
My relationship is very good. Yours is
rocky.
Not that way.
Mine is very rocky.
The question in general was that this person was having a hard time. They live in an apartment in the city, but they came home because of the
quarantine
coronavirus, and they want to be with their not just that they want. I don't think it's necessarily that they want to be with their family, but it's that they want
their mom.
Yeah, they wanted to be with their mom, because of the fact that
she needed them, yeah,
and not just that, but like Chicago is the metropolitan area.
Yeah, is a mess right now,
and he's not working his job right now. I think
from what he snapped me, he's like tutoring children and like teaching kids how to play chess, which absolutely freaking precious. First of all,
really, for real.
Yeah. So
adorable man. Anyway, we won't.
We're not gonna share his name.
I'll avoid doxing him. Yeah. But this person they've got some issues with their mom that they have been struggling to.
Having a hard time adjusting, living back at home with their mom again.
And we both have had that experience.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I guess I'll kind of take the lead on this. But,
go ahead.
I love my parents very deeply, but at the same time, I'm almost 22, and I don't want to live with my parents anymore. Yeah. And right now, I have to live with my parents. Not just that I have to live with my parents, but I have to live with my parents, and I'm supposed to be living with all of my friends right now. I miss my roommate, Eric.
Yeah.
I miss my trombone quartet that we were supposed to have a quartet recital, like a going away recital, because I'm graduating and they're all staying.
Yeah.
I'm scared about my master's program that I might be starting, where I don't want to start a master's where I'm online.
Which, by the way, congrats.
Yeah.
I'm getting accepted to DePaul for your master's program.
I'm really excited.
Awesome. Yeah, that's totally amazing.
I'm super stoked.
And we're going to live in the city together. And it's fine.
That's true. So we can keep recording the podcast.
Yes.
But first of all, in dealing with those issues, you are allowed to not like it.
Yeah.
And also still love your mom.
Especially when you get that independence and you move away and then you come back to living with your mom. Like, that freaking sucks. I remember when I first left for college, I was like, oh my God, I'm independent. I can do my own things. But then I came home for the summer or winter break or whatever, and it sucked. Yeah. Just going back on that sucks.
You don't have to, when you live alone, you don't have to explain what you're doing at all times. You can just be the person that you are and not have to answer for it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So that's nice. You can just have your own schedule. But the reason I bring that up is because you should feel like you don't have to say to yourself, I shouldn't feel mad or upset because I love my mom. You know, you can be mad or upset and still love your mom, because you're not mad at your mom. Your mom didn't make the coronavirus happen. You know? And also, elaborating a little bit further, there are some underlying issues. It is never wrong to start a dialogue with your parents, unless you are unless your physical health is threatened, in which case that's a different story.
Yes.
You know, but I would say, you know, your parents are people too. They're adults, in the same way that if someone had a problem with your behavior, you would appreciate it if they, you know, said, hey, at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, can we get together? I want to talk about you with some stuff. And then they sat down and they were like, hey, I don't want to make this a big confrontation, but I just want to I want to talk to you about some. I want to get some feedback on some things.
I just want to
that I've
talk to
been
you about an
thinking.
issue.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I talked to your mom about when your mom and I had like our dinner or whatever. I don't even know if it was my birthday dinner or what it was.
It was something about you just had
It was-
like a life talk.
Yeah, your mom and I are very close. I'm very close with your whole family.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm basically the other child. But
The third child.
the third carpenter. But I've been having issues with my mom my whole life, which is a thing that I've dealt with. And I remember your mom giving me this advice, saying, just talk to your mom in an adult way.
Yeah.
Like just be organized, talk to them calmly, talk to them like an adult would, because
Yeah.
your mom was saying like, hey, Henry did the same exact thing to me, and it really threw me. Like,
yeah.
it really threw her. And I was like, I didn't even realize that, because, you know, I'm not a mom. I've never been a parent. I've never had to raise a child. So I didn't even realize that piece.
Yeah. The reality that when a parent tells a child you need to start acting like an adult, it goes both ways.
It does.
You can't expect an adult you can't expect adult behavior from someone that you constantly belittle as a child.
Well, yeah, and not saying that this person is acting like a child or anything.
No,
like,
no,
not at all. Not at all.
I don't think this person is a child.
No,
at all.
no.
I think
But
that they're a mature individual.
But parents don't see their child being an adult yet sometimes, and they kind of need that wake-up call.
Yeah.
They need that conversation where it's like, hey, please respect my space. I am an adult now. I would like this. Have a reasonable adult conversation with your parent.
And it goes both ways.
Exactly.
In that you also need to be able to look at your parents and say, you have to avoid saying, I'm just mad at you because you're my parents and you're the authority figure in my life. You know, it is easy as children
to just be like my
people,
parents.
not children as in kids, but children of parents.
Yes.
To view our parental figures in a way other than parents is something that I've had to practice. So he didn't give us any specifics as to what he was dealing with in terms of any specific issues, and that's okay. But I think that probably generally those guidelines would apply. You know, like it's good to just talk to your parents like adults. Demand of yourself that you will approach them like they're like a fellow adult.
Yeah.
And
have a good conversation with them.
And demand that they treat you like an adult.
Yeah.
In the same way that you shouldn't belittle them for being your parent, they shouldn't belittle you for being their child.
Yeah. And if that doesn't work, then move back to Chicago and come like during the weekends or something.
Yeah. Plus, and I'll say something that I've said to people before, which is that you don't have to have a relationship with your parents.
If it's extremely negative, yes.
If it's unhealthy for you, you don't have to have a relationship with your parents.
Exactly.
Like, my relationship with my parents is my choice. Yeah. You know, as I love them, and I will never not love them on some very universal level. But the fact that I am as close with and love my parents as much as I do is based on my choices, not because I'm supposed to. You know. Whereas other people feel like they are supposed to, even if they had a choice, they would choose not to. Yeah. And I think that at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, you have to evaluate it like any other relationship. Is this person going to give me respect? Is this person going to hear me out? Is this person going to see my perspective? Is this person willing to compromise? You know, and if those are things that you expect from the other adults in your life that your parents can't give you, then you don't have to have. Exactly. You are totally within your rights to reserve parts of yourself from them.
And I will say, coming from a family that is very active but also inactive in my life on two different parental escapes.
Read that exactly how it should be read.
Yeah, it's hard because, you know, it is your parent. It is your mom or your dad who, you know, your parents are supposed to be a certain way, but when they're not, how do you deal with that? Like it's really hard. It's very, very difficult. Coming from a parent that has a lot of mental health issues, it's difficult. It takes work. I've had to work on that relationship my whole life with my mom, and I'm still working on that. But I don't know if it's something that I necessarily want to give up. It's something that you do want to work on because, it is your parent.
Yeah. And I'm not
It is
trying
your
to imply
parent.
that this person is at the step.
No.
I don't actually know.
I mean,
don't
I
know
have
if
no
they're
idea.
at the place that they are willing to like sever their relationship
With
their
parent.
parents.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But anyway, I hope that addresses their question without, because we heard this very basic, like they're having trouble adjusting. And I'd also say that if you have a conversation, in the same way that it is helpful to have conversations about the things that are going poorly, it is also helpful to have a conversation about things that are going right.
Yeah, mention the things that you appreciate. Something that I learned in school is a compliment sandwich.
I learned that from studio in giving comments in studio.
Compliment sandwich. So you start off saying, hey, I really appreciate that you are giving me space. I really appreciate that you are cooking for me or whatever. I would really, then that's the first compliment. And then the second part, the middle part, is where you say, hey, I would prefer this. I would like this to happen. I would like, I don't know, my space after 6 p.m. or like 8 p.m., whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but I really appreciate everything that you have done for me afterwards. Compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
I'll give a specific with my parents.
Go ahead.
Because that was honestly the thing that I really struggled with. The thing that I struggled with most in this transition was having my own space.
Yeah.
My parents know that I like to be on my own. I like to be in charge of my schedule. I like to do things when I have to do them.
Yeah.
And when I want to do them, I don't like, that's part of being an adult. But one of the things that I said is, believe me, I'm appreciative of the fact that I get to, I think we had a conversation about, I wanted to turn my basement into my office.
Yeah.
It was sort of it was our old family room before our upstairs became kind of our family room.
Yeah.
And I said to them, I want to make the downstairs into my office. I said, I know that that's a lot of space to take up. I know that I'd be moving a desk down there. I'd be playing trombone down there. I'd spend, 8 hours a day down there, which I do. And if it's at all helpful with that loss of space, I'm more than happy to sacrifice some of the space in my room, because my room isn't big enough to have an office, but my room is big enough to hold like some boxes maybe over by my closet that I don't really go over to. I just need my room so that I can get to my bed.
Just sleep.
I had a conversation with them in which I recognized their needs and their situation. I recognized my needs and my situation, and I proposed a compromise. That is adult conversation 101. So that never hurts. No. And you also don't have to, you don't have to eat that meal in one bite. You can start with improving this relationship one issue at a time.
Exactly.
If there's one thing that really gets on your nerves that you think is probably the most easily fixable,
talk about
there.
it. Yeah, start there.
And then tackle a bigger one.
Yeah,
and then tackle another one, and then tackle another one. And pretty soon you will have made having a positive dialogue not only a pattern that you feel comfortable with, but it's a pattern that they are comfortable with, and that they will reciprocate with you.
And they'll respect you too. They'll be like, oh, they are showing me that my child is showing me that they can be an adult. They are capable of adult conversations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that makes them inherently want to respect you more.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words. I mean, even though conversations, that does include words, but like you're actively being an adult.
You're taking the time to
think
have
about
this
it.
Relationship.
Yeah, have this relationship, work on it, and that's being an adult.
But in any event, we don't want to dwell on that too much.
Yeah.
We want to get to some truth or truths. To the person who asked us that question, we love you, buddy.
Yeah, we love you. I hope this helps.
We hope that is helpful.
Maybe a week late, but
yeah, maybe a week late.
Because you Snapchatted us the day that our second episode came out.
Maybe I'll just like take this little audio tonight and just send it to him.
Yeah, exactly. I can snap him afterwards.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So Kylie got our questions.
Yes,
for us.
I have her question. So we're gonna be doing about 11. We are doing 11.
Oh, I forgot about the ones on Instagram. We can do those too.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna do the truth or truths.
Yeah, but
okay.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Are we doing the truth or truths? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's do. Well, hold on.
You want to do one more?
We should do the Instagram questions too.
You want to do the Instagram questions too? Can we do all of them? Is that enough time?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll take a look.
That's fine.
Log into the Instagram.
Hi. Well, he's welcome.
Kylie's
Henry
catchphrase.
Henry pointed out right before this podcast that I say welcome every time I don't know what to say, and it's absolutely true. It's 100% true.
It's funny the things you pick up.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've never like recorded myself and like talked before.
Yeah.
This is very new to me. So,
Well, me
but
too.
I love
My
it.
cadence
I mean, yeah.
changes. You know, like
I feel.
I get
don't
more
know.
like.
I don't know
yeah,
if your
you know.
cadence changes. I don't know.
I think it
I don't
does.
even know. I like don't even realize sometimes what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yesterday, a boy that I've been talking to pointed out that I say that's fair and 100% quite a bit. And was making fun of me for it. Not in like a mean way or anything, but so that's been happening in my life. Henry's pulling up the Instagram stuff. We did put out a little story or a post as well, saying that we want your questions. We want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
We want to tell you our advice on whatever situation you're going through, whether it's funny, sexual, shitty,
Or downright stupid,
Or downright
like this first
stupid.
one, which is the
Yes.
best essential oils to cure the coronavirus.
Well,
I can recommend cyanide.
I
No, that's not
can
true.
recommend cyanide. Well, essential oils. Personally, they are bullshit.
Says the nurse.
Personally, whatever. I've seen a lot of. I'm about to tell you how much I love nursing. I follow some nursing pages on Instagram.
Oh my god.
And they're just like nursing memes. They're really shitty. Some of them are really bad, but some of them are like pretty funny.
Dude, nursing memes low bar. Low bar.
Low
bar
bar.
for humor.
Low bar for humor, yeah. But then there's stuff like every once in a while where it's like, oh, I recommend essential oil of cefazolin, like which is an antibiotic. So
It's
I
like
mean,
that's not anything.
it's like very niche humor for me. I'm sorry, or
It's
any
funny.
other nurses listening out there, whatever. But like,
yeah.
so
Essential oils are bullshit.
essential oils are kind of bullshit.
Other than for
in
like
my
calming down your
opinion.
mood,
Yeah.
aromatherapy is more.
Aromatherapy is great. Aromatherapy helps people relax. It reduces their pain level. It's great.
Yeah.
But you can't
It's
cure
it's not
coronavirus with
curative.
essential. No.
No.
Okay.
no.
What
I think they were joking.
I mean, yeah,
but-
fair enough. But side story: when I got my nose pierced, I got a little infection, and your mom told me to put tea tree oil on it, and I did, and I was like, "This doesn't fucking work." Like, this
Yeah.
does not work. And then so I actually started like using saline solution, which is a little bit of salt in it.
Which actually
cured.
works because,
Cured.
that's
wow.
how science is.
Yeah. So no offense, Liz, I love you. You're my favorite mom, but like that did not work.
Yeah.
Don't
This-
use essential oils to cure illnesses.
Yeah. The next one, I'm gonna dox this person because it's really funny.
Okay.
Fucking Anna
Anna?
said best way to seduce a Jew. So I don't think I'm qualified to answer this question.
Okay, I'm
gonna let you
so
take this
qualified to answer this question. Okay, hello. I'm Jewish. By the way, happy Passover to everyone out there listening. I asked my mom what is for dinner tonight, and she said shrimp, and I said, that's not very Passover and Jewish of us. So we're doing great. We're doing absolutely fantastic. And the first thing that I thought of was that scene from the first Marvelous Miss Maisel episode where she's giving her speech at her wedding, and she's just like, by the way, there's shrimp in the spring rolls. And all the Jews start freaking out because if you're Jewish, you're not supposed to have like shrimp or like prawns
So what
or
you're
whatever.
saying is the best way to seduce a Jew
is throw shrimp at them.
is to take them on a date during Passover and
Yes.
insist that and take them to a seafood
Yes.
place.
Have your
and insist they order shrimp.
if you honestly, second base is having your legs touch while you're sitting next to each other while the rabbi's speaking. Like
That's only for Ashkenazi Jews. Oh, Jew humor.
Jew humor.
Jew
It's
humor.
it's so
Nope.
much fun. I make fun of myself for being a Jew sometimes. There's a really good documentary out there about Jews in comedy because there's a lot of funny Jewish people. Sarah Silverman.
Some of my favorite comedians are Jewish.
Exactly. Sarah
Yeah,
Silverman
Sarah Silverman's
cracks
one of my
me up.
favorites.
She's so fucking funny. And like Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks. There we
Yes,
go. I
thank
had a
you.
brain fart for a second. Mel Brooks. It just basically talks to a bunch of funny comedian Jews and their jokes and why they make fun of Jewish people. And it's really interesting. I don't know. My rabbi told me to watch it.
Well, it's like kind of dark, isn't it? Isn't it like yeah, the Holocaust fucked
Yeah,
up all modern
it has
Jews,
like some
and
Holocaust
so,
overtones to it, which
well,
is
but
chill.
like, welcome to the history of Judaism.
But welcome to the history of Judaism. Everybody hates us, so
Except that's one of the things that fascinates me most about the Jewish faith and culture is that it's something that has been so, it's been able to persevere through some of recorded history's most diabolical
yeah.
behavior.
Honestly, if you want to get into a Jew's pants, just say that.
That's not my intention. But I am going to hit up your rabbi one of these days. I'm going to actually dedicate myself to doing the readings and convert.
My rabbi is so chill. I want to preface this by saying I'm a humanistic Jew. Humanistic Judaism means that we uphold the culture of Judaism and practice
But you're not monotheistic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You're not monotheistic. So that's cool too.
Great.
Yeah.
I've got.
Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you, Anna.
Horse lady.
Horse lady. That's not an insult. She rides horses, although she does look like a horse.
One
I'm
fun.
just kidding.
No,
Anna, you
she
don't
does.
look like a horse. I'm sorry.
She does not look
I
like a
didn't mean
horse.
it.
She's a beautiful 25%
beautiful
Jewish
lady,
girl.
And I'm gonna steal her boyfriend from her.
Yes. Oh my
I
God, we
love
have so many
Kevin.
good stories about Anna. Side story. So she's so much of a horse girl that Hallie, one year for her birthday, or for I don't even know what I think it was for her birthday, made her a calendar, and the pictures for the calendar were our faces over horse bodies.
It's incredible. It's one of the best gifts I've ever seen.
It's honestly, it's still my background or my cover photo on
Yeah,
Facebook.
It is.
It really is, and I
Yeah.
have no shame.
So
Next question.
This is the last. I only want to do 3 because I want to
That's
make sure
fair.
we get to our truth or truths.
Yeah,
We're
truth
gonna
or
answer
truths are
some.
good.
We'll answer some new ones. But things you learn that are fucked up in college. I'm gonna keep this one short because I didn't really answer the last 2.
Fair enough.
The thing that I learned that's most fucked up in college. I come from the Midwest, where most people are just nice. Some people are just
Dicks.
fucking mean people.
Yeah.
There are just mean fucking people. And not mean as in, like, they aren't... Like, because I know people who are mean from my neck of the woods, and they're friendly on the outside, but then when you get to know them, they're kind of like nasty
Shitty
people.
Yeah.
But I never really experienced someone who, like, from the minute you meet them until you know them as well as you possibly can know another person, they are just a mean-spirited person, and they are just spiteful. I hate that I have that outlook, but I think part of it is that I went to school in New York.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've never experienced that because I just go to school in Wisconsin.
Like I've never really experienced, like, the meanest thing that I think I ever really experienced was like was probably someone like cutting me off in traffic, or someone who didn't smile when we accidentally made eye contact and I smiled at them when walking through the city. Like, I just was so, I mean, just like right off the bat.
Yeah.
But like in New York, I like had a room reserved for a recording session, and I was a freshman, and I was like, hey, I think I have this room reserved. And they were like, I reserved it. And I'm like, oh, well, can I see your email? And they were like, no, I have it reserved. And I was like, okay, well, I have my email saying that I have it reserved. And they're like, that sucks. I'm recording right now.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, sorry, man. And I just like walked away, and I was like, I didn't really mean, I said that, I told this story to a friend, and I was like, yeah, I felt really bad. I didn't like, I could tell that they were annoyed that I was in there during the recording session. It must have just been an issue in the online booking system. And he just was quiet for a second, and he just went, that guy was lying.
Yeah.
That guy was just being a
That guy
dick.
was lying.
And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, dude, that guy just lied to you. You should have been like, no, fuck you. I actually have this room reserved.
Yeah.
Get out. You should have like put up a fight. And I was like, I don't know how.
I'm a baby freshman.
So
Yeah.
dumb. I felt so, but like in that moment, I was like, if that ever happens to me again, I was like so mad. Like, but I never experienced something like that till I went to college.
Yeah.
And I realized that there are people like that. And unfortunately, there are people in the world who will make you be like that too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to just be able to be that person sometimes.
Yeah.
That is not a situation where you have to do it, but like if someone is really disrespecting you or if someone is really, really like not on top of their shit, you have to practice doing the least Midwestern thing possible and being like, you know what? That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
That can't be happening right now.
Yeah.
You need to do better. I never learned that skill until I left Illinois.
Yeah, no, I had a hard time doing that too because I remember when my senior year clinical last semester, I was taking care of a patient. My nurse that I was with was very mean. She was very, very mean. She was an angry, angry, angry person, and I don't know what hurt her, but I told her, I was like, hey, your patient in room 4, they've had a giant change in condition. I told her, I was like, here's her new vital signs, here's my assessment, here's this. And she was just like, well, what do you want me to do about it? And I was like, whoa, this is like another person's life we're talking about.
Not an approach you should have to nursing. Jesus.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And I told my clinical instructor. My clinical instructor was like, no, you're okay. Like you did. I had the best clinical instructor my last semester, my fall semester. She was phenomenal. Her name is Carolyn. I absolutely love her to death. She just made me feel safe. It just felt like she was hugging me at all times, even though she wasn't. But she was just like, you did the right thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If anything happens, that's on her license. And I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Shit. All right. Well, now that we've done the advice portion of our podcast, we should maybe get to the talking shit portion of our podcast.
Okay.
So let's choose a juicy ass truth or truth.
We're gonna start with juicy. You don't want me to go in order?
Yeah, go fucking juicy. Hit it up.
Okay. Share your worst failed romantic experience.
You go first.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I have a good one. My junior year of high school, I was dating a boy. We weren't dating for very long. I think maybe the max we dated was like 3 months, but still, that was like probably one of my first relationships, real relationships, I guess.
And relationships.
Yeah, it was fucking bad. 3 weeks into our relationship, it was the eve of our Christmas concert. And it's always a fun time. It's a big one because band, well, we didn't have an orchestra because we were poor, whatever. But yeah, it happens. But like band, all the different bands would play, jazz band, regular band, and like however other many bands
Hallelujah
there were.
Chorus, Duke Ellington Suite stuff, yeah.
Choir would sing all the bajillion different choirs. It took forever. My boyfriend at that time came to the concert. And when the concert was over, he was walking me to my car and he was like throwing snow at me. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't want the snow thrown at me. I'm wearing my choir dress. Like, fucking leave me alone. I was already annoyed with him 3 weeks into the relationship. So that was good.
You were done.
I was just done. And
Classic Kylie.
I just did not put up with it. I was so done. And he said, he like stopped throwing it at me because I was like, stop throwing it at me. And he was just like, okay, I love you. 3 weeks into the relationship, me being me, I panicked, didn't know what to say, opened my car and said, drive safe, and then drove off.
Oh my God, I've never heard that story.
You've never heard that?
No.
I didn't tell you that?
I can't believe you did that.
Are you kidding me?
That's so savage. Like if that was
say.
calculated, that would be badass. But since I know that was you just being like, that's hilarious.
I don't do well in awkward situations like that because I'm a very awkward person myself. I need like a little bit of alcohol, and at that time, I don't think I was drunk yet. So
yeah, that's like the classic Drake and Josh.
Yeah,
thing, where she's like, "I love you," and he's like, "See you at school," or whatever. Like
it really is.
There's like exactly that moment.
Yeah, and I said drive safe, and I drove off. Like
drive safe, champ. Just take off. God damn.
That was a rough, awkward
Well,
experience.
Kylie has no heart. Good to know.
Yeah, good to know. Welcome.
Mine. This is kind of a long story. I'll keep it brief.
Go ahead.
So when I was in high school, I didn't date. And by that I mean I dated very aggressively. But dating in high school for me was find the person that I was attracted to, have a not awkward conversation with them a couple times, hang out with them in a group setting and then hang out with them again in a group setting until I made a move.
Yeah.
And then address the fact that we were kind of romantically interested in each other. And then
That's
we were
true.
just going out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that was the way that it was, but,
Hey.
like, there really weren't dates. Well, and then it was, like, you'd come over and watch a movie.
Yeah.
That was always, like, the first date.
Was that before Netflix and chill became a thing?
That was around the time when Netflix and chill became a thing.
Really?
Well, I remember Netflix and chill became, like, a meme, and I was like, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
but,
like,
like,
I'm a pro.
I was like, you mean dating? Like, I just didn't know.
You mean my girlfriend?
I didn't realize that it was sort of like, hey, we should, like, catch a movie, and then, like, afterwards we'll walk over to Panda Express and eat a meal or whatever. I don't fucking know.
God.
Like, I didn't go. So that's a long way around of saying I didn't go on dates. So I had
Fair
my
enough.
first date, like,
Okay.
real date.
Okay.
That wasn't me already being in a relationship or just hooking up.
Okay.
My first, like, meet up with a person and be on a date was my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
Although I guess that isn't really true. I did
I
go on
guess.
some.
Well, okay. Hold
I
on.
went on some Tinder dates where it was just like we
But
hang
this
out.
is just like your failed romantic experience, not worst date.
No,
That's
I know.
a different question.
This is a failed romantic experience.
Okay.
I
okay,
consider
okay,
this to be
okay,
my
okay.
first adult date. You know, I did the Tinder thing where, like, you meet up and eat cheese curds and listen to music while driving around in McHenry.
Love it.
But, like, you know, that's not a date.
No.
That's just being a loser who borrowed their mom's car.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we met for coffee.
Mhm.
We met at like 8 and
Okay.
Ubered over. And then we were there until 11.
Ooh.
And then we went to another coffee place that was still open.
Okay.
And we were there until 1:30.
Oh.
We'd been together for like a long
A
time.
while, yeah.
And then they
That's a
came,
solid
and then
date.
I was like, "Do you want to come back to my room and listen to a record?" And they were like, "Yeah." And so we went
Okay.
back and we talked, and I cleared a space for them on my chair. I cleared a space for me on my chair. And then I sat down in my chair, and she had already cleared herself a space on my bed.
Hey.
And then I was like, we talked for like another maybe half hour, 45 minutes, and I was like, "Listen, man, I've got a super long day tomorrow. It's getting late. I should get you an Uber home." And they were like, "Okay." And like they were cool about it. They're like, "Yeah."
That's cool.
And I was like, I definitely want to hang out again though. And they were like, "Yeah, that'd be nice." And they went home. Never heard from them.
Oh.
Never heard from them.
That's
And I have told that
sad.
story so many times, and every girl that I've told that story to was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I just didn't know that I accidentally sent every signal of like, we are about to have sex.
Did. Yeah, you made like a big sex signal.
I didn't know. I just was
Yeah.
like, we're having an emotional connection.
It's like the bat light, but
The
like
bat signal?
with sex.
yeah, it was just
like
like,
a big
the
penis in the
hole
sky.
in one finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big penis in the sky.
I
That's what I'm
definitely
feeling.
felt like such a dumbass, and
It
this is
happens.
to just call myself out in two ways. One, that was
bad.
that was bad, but I develop a connections. I pretend like I'm this big badass, like, you know, like I know my stuff, but in reality I'm baby. Like if you are nice to me for more than 3 hours, I'm in love with you. Like I'm just that way. I connect very quickly and very strongly right away.
Me too, though. I
Um,
feel that. I'm kind of a big baby sometimes.
Yeah.
But like I can be kind of cold.
Yeah.
I can be a little cold. I
But-
know that.
But the second thing about myself is that was 2 years ago. And
Mhm.
if they hit me up tonight and they were like, "Hey, I'm sorry, that was like a weird time for me. Like, what are you up to?" And
Hop on
wanted
a
to
plane.
talk to me,
No, just
I
kidding.
would talk to them.
Yeah.
I would be like,
Don't hop
"It's
on a
all
plane.
good, man." Like, don't wait, what?
Don't hop on a plane. I said hop on a plane. Don't hop on a plane. Don't do that. Social
yeah,
distance.
someone said to me once, don't drink poison just because you're thirsty. But like, bitch, I would inhale poison for attention. Like
Yeah.
I'm just a little baby. Anyway,
happens
that's
sometimes.
enough.
Okay, that's
Next
enough.
question.
Next
I've
question.
outed myself plenty.
That's fine. Let's do a chill one. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh my god.
Yes, I know you. Yes, go on. I already know what you're gonna say.
My biggest pet peeve is people who think Friends is a good show.
It's such a horrible show.
It's not a good show.
It's not funny.
I don't know who needs to. Actually,
funny.
I do know who needs to hear this, but I'm not gonna out them.
I'll
I
out them.
fucking swear to God. First of all, this is Eric pointed this out to me. They're all terrible friends.
Yeah.
Except for Phoebe and Joey.
Yeah.
The writing bad.
Yeah. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's a laugh track show. I'm like iffy on laugh track shows. Like I really love How I Met Your Mother and like the IT Crowd, but like Friends fucking sucks. It's just a bad show.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's not good. And I've met David Schwimmer. Like I don't give a shit. If he was like, "Did you like Friends?" I'd be like, "No, it fucking sucks, David Schwimmer."
To be entirely honest with you, the acting isn't the problem. Like,
no,
I don't actually think the acting is that bad.
Enough.
But
fair enough.
I just think it's so boringly written.
Yeah.
I think that all the plots are so vapid. I think that everyone is I don't think any of the characters are likable.
No.
It's like about 6 friends who all want to fuck each other.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't care. Whatever. You guys are just erudite assholes who live in New York and have money for the beautiful
drama.
apartment and yet pretend to work shitty jobs.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
like
not.
They're like, oh, we're just relatable young people living in the big city, and it's just like, fuck
not
you.
funny.
You're not
It's not
anything like
funny.
that.
It's not funny.
It's just not funny. It's just
I
not
remember we were having like a party in my apartment last year, and we invited one of my friends. We invited a bunch of people over, and one of my friends, Mark, was like, "Never have I ever hated the show Friends," and literally everybody put their finger down,
Oh my
and
God.
he was just like, "Oh, really?" And then we all started yelling at him. We were all just like, "Mark, Friends fucking sucks. It's a horrible show. What the fuck, Mark?" And he's like, "I've never been in such a hostile place against Friends." And we're like, "Get used to it. This show fucking sucks.
Get used to it.
Get used to it, bitch."
All right.
Like,
All right,
just
well,
kidding. Mark's a great
I
dude.
didn't mean to dominate the conversation
Whatever,
about
it's
my
fine.
hatred of Friends. What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is hypocrites. I cannot stand hypocrites. Oh, your beer's spilling. She got a little too excited. She got too much head. Sorry. Yeah, I hate hypocrites. I cannot fucking deal with them.
Mhm.
They say one thing. I've been in relationships with many hypocrites.
Almost
you
exclusively
know, almost
hypocrites.
exclusively. For some reason, I hate hypocrites, but somehow I'm attracted to them. I know how to find them. So that fucking sucks. Okay, let's be done with that
Yeah,
one.
I don't even want to think for another second about Friends or the people that you've dated.
Yeah, it's long. What's the most embarrassing thing that happened while you were hooking up?
Oh God.
Do you want me to share mine first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. When I was a little baby, sophomore in high school, I was seeing this guy, and he was very cute. And we were like making out, you know. I was sitting on his lap, like straddling him, like making out. This motherfucker starts barking. Starts fucking barking like a dog. And like making like roof, roof, like making like literally like that. And I was shocked. I was a young baby.
Was it who I'm thinking about?
I don't know.
Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
I
That
don't
is
know.
absolutely insane. That's like clinical.
Yeah.
Shit.
And like now him and his girlfriend are pregnant. Like and he's like our age.
Sorry,
Like,
what?
Yeah. It's a fucking weird ass time. Yeah.
Wow.
Him and his girlfriend just posted like, "Oh, we're expecting." And I'm like, "Bro, you fucking barked at me." Like
Oh my
what?
God. Is this the same guy who was like a Trump supporter but really
No.
turned on by the fact that you were Latina?
No. No, I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school. No, that was freshman-ish,
The person who's like,
sophomore-ish
I
year.
want to hate you, but I'm so turned on.
Yeah, it
Like,
literally
was
felt
so funny.
I felt like I was in a snow globe when I was with that guy.
I want to tell you to go back to where you came from, but I can't help but be attracted to you.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
so many
The cognitive
horrible
dissonance.
hookup stories. Yeah, that motherfucker bit me.
Oh,
Mr.
fuck.
Conservative man bit me.
That's funny. Well, I've done that, but only because
Yeah.
the person asked me to. And
Yeah.
I want to.
I mean, I have another one too, but you go ahead.
I'm
Oh,
ashamed.
wait, no, that's
I'm ashamed.
Don't worry about
fact,
it. Has someone barked at you because you're doing better than me?
You know the story. It's worse.
Oh.
Mom and Dad, I'm really sorry if you listen this far into the podcast. I'm sorry you have to hear this story.
Okay.
It's the truth.
When, where, and why did you last cry?
Oh.
Okay, let's switch it up. There's a lot of dating ones. Okay,
Yeah.
I have my answer set down.
Go for it.
Yesterday, I cried because so when it was yesterday, where I was in my basement. Why? I was my mom yesterday told me, "Hey, we're going to put Ellie down." And I didn't have the strength in me to cry yet. So what I do when I'm normally when I want to cry but I can't get it started is I watch either one of my favorite sad movies or a sad thing.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, I was just I had a bad headache yesterday. I was I'm just going to turn on some How I Met Your Mother. Let's fucking watch it. Turns out I was on the episode where, spoiler alert, where a character's father passes away. And sorry, I had to burp. That episode makes me cry.
Very sad. Very good
sad.
Episode.
Very good episode.
Surprisingly well written for a situational comedy.
It is. And then I know that because I'm a huge How I Met Your Mother fan, but they have a countdown throughout the entire episode for every scene. There's a different number counting down the scenes or the shots until you find out the father dies. And it's really interesting and just watching that. And also I know that when the actor found out that his father had died, he did not know in the script. It wasn't told. He had no idea what was going to happen. So when the wife comes and is like, "Hey, your dad's dead," he was just like, "What?"
It was genuine
just,
surprise.
Genuine surprise.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just heavy and it just makes me cry. And then I watched the next episode at the funeral. Bitch was crying you can't believe because I'm a sympathetic crier. Every time I see somebody cry, I cry.
I can kind of get that way.
Yeah, I am that way. But I'm not a sympathetic puker, so that's good.
Yeah, it's better.
That's better.
It's better to be a sympathetic crier.
Yeah, it is.
It'd be weird if every time you saw someone puke, you cried. But
that would be...
It'd be worse if you were a sympathetic crier, but only with people who are puking.
I would have to quit nursing.
That's the funniest thing I've ever said.
Imagine.
I'm really sad that it was that.
I would have to quit nursing. If every time somebody puked, I cried.
You wouldn't be cut out for that line of work.
No, I'll fucking fail. Anyways, what's yours?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Okay. I'm giving you a second. But yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. Here's a second.
Last time I cried, oh God, I can't remember what day it was. I want to say it was either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Sometime in the past week. I can't remember what day specifically. One of my favorite filmmakers is Hayao Miyazaki.
Yes.
And
yes.
When this whole quarantine started, I was like, "Bish, I'm gonna watch as many Miyazaki movies as I can."
Oh my God,
handle.
I need that.
And them movies always make me cry.
Right.
And not because they're so
beautiful.
The plot is so interesting, and the way that he writes his characters is so interesting because the fact that he doesn't write bad guys and good guys. He just writes the main characters, and then the people who are quote unquote the bad guys, you can see things from their point of view. The movie that I'm thinking of specifically is Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Because the people who are the bad guys, the people who are the good guys, you don't always like what they do. And the people who are the bad guys, yeah, they're the bad guys, but they have good reason.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to hurt anybody because they like to hurt. They just care about people.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Lady Eboshi houses leopards and buys the contracts of prostitutes in cities so that they can come and lead meaningful lives and make good money and not be exploited, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really meaningful.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, she destroys forests and it destroys the lives of the forest gods, you know? And she wants to kill the forest gods because she wants to expand Irontown.
Yeah.
But that movie is just so
it's so
beautifully drawn, and the music is so incredible. I think that actually the reason I didn't watch Princess Mononoke, but the last time I cried was watching a movie about about Miyazaki's airships. I wish that I remember the channel name and video, but it was such a good video. It was a little video essay, 15-minute video on YouTube about like Miyazaki's obsession with flight.
Okay, but I will say, Howl's Moving Castle,
Yeah.
those airships changed my life because I remember when we would always watch Miyazaki movies in my art class in elementary school, and
he's a beautiful artist.
a beautiful artist, and we would always watch them when he was just like, I don't want to fucking teach art. Like we just did claymation, fucking watch Miyazaki movies, like whatever. And I was like, damn. I remember visiting him, my teacher, later in life, and I was like, what's the name of that movie with the airships? And he was just like, Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Like, he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And Howl's Moving Castle is, like, probably one of my favorite Miyazaki movies.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. But Princess Mononoke is up. They're all so good. Like, it's hard to pick one.
Porco Rosso hits us very... I mean, Porco Rosso is actually the one movie that I cannot watch. Well, actually, that's not true. Both Porco Rosso and Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
I'm constantly holding back. And Kiki's Delivery Service. 3 movies. I'm constantly holding back tears.
Yes.
Because the animation is so beautiful. It's so vivid. And
the soundtrack. It just it's perfect.
Yeah. Porco Rosso specifically because it is it's about first of all, it's about the beauty of flight. And it is also about the fight. Not necessarily the fight, but a background theme of the movie is the fight against fascism. Yeah. And that really resonates with me.
It's
personally.
just beautiful.
It's also just incredibly a beautiful. Anyway, we should.
Yeah. Okay.
Move on.
Next question.
I'm just
Okay.
ranting now, but
okay. Have you ever been humiliated and why?
Oh God.
Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I don't think I was actually humiliated. I think I perceived that I was humiliated.
I think mine is that way too, so it's fine.
Because I am currently finishing up my senior year at Eastman. There are 400 undergrads at Eastman and 500 graduate students. It is a very, very small school.
Yeah.
The number of people in my graduating class at our high school is bigger than the number of undergraduate students at my school. Very, very small. And I was in a relationship that had a very public 4-month-long breakup. And
yes, I know exactly who
every
you're talking
single
about.
person. I didn't have pretty much any friends because I devoted almost 100% of my time to this relationship when I was in college, which I deeply regret.
Yeah, because we got into a big fight.
We gotta do it. That was the catalyst of a very huge fight for us. And my relationship with this person has since dramatically improved. But at that time, my world was so messed up, and theirs was too. In a level that was actually different than mine. They were dealing with something much larger than I was.
Okay.
But I really struggled with depression. Really struggled with anxiety. Had a hard time getting my ADHD under control. If I didn't drop out because I felt like I didn't have a social world. If it wasn't me dropping out because I was upset, it would have been me. If I didn't pass my classes, it would have been me failing out. I genuinely was running the risk of failing 2 classes because I just was so depressed. Yeah. And wasn't doing my work. And I was humiliated because I felt like everybody in my very small class of 100 people, people, you don't think that's that many, but it was everybody my age. We all knew each other, and everybody knew the details of my breakup. It felt like
so shitty.
And I was so upset. I just hid in my room. You know what? That breakup is the reason why I have 600 hours in Skyrim. I'm not gonna lie. I bought Skyrim as an early birthday present to myself when it went on sale in 2017, and God. I literally played Skyrim for maybe 12 hours a day.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
My story's a little different than that.
Yeah.
My story's really funny, but I felt awful.
Yeah.
My story is when I was a senior in high school, and I went with very good friend Carson and
Love Carson.
yeah, Carson, we went to like our free lunch Friday. There was like a little chapel
Yeah, I love
right
Free
down
Lunch
the
Friday.
street. Yeah.
I felt really bad because I've been an atheist since before I started high
I
school.
mean, I'm Jewish and I
Yeah.
went to a fucking church to eat free food. So,
But they were
I
really
mean, there
kind
you
to
go.
me, and I never forgot that, you know?
Yeah, and
So,
like they would talk about God
kindness
during
transcends
lunch.
religion.
Exactly. And I would listen. I'd be like, yeah, cool. I'm Jewish, whatever. I just want free food, which is kind of shitty, but like whatever. And they had like a dessert table and there yeah, you know the story.
I'm laughing because I already know the story. Just keep going, keep
they
going.
had a nice little dessert table. They had some brownies that said like gluten free, and I was like, oh, that's chill. And someone that I knew, because everyone would go to free lunch Fridays, someone was like, hey, did you try these cookies? They're really good. And I was like, no. Do they have any nuts in them? I'm severely allergic to nuts. And they were like, I don't think so. And so I was like, good enough for me. And I saw that like no other thing had like a peanut sign on it or anything, but that one thing had a gluten-free sign. And so I was like, oh, if they felt the need to put gluten-free, they would do like there's
Yeah,
nuts
do
in
nut
these.
allergy,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, because that's really severe. That was stupid. I ended up eating this cookie that
God.
had
Oh, God.
peanut butter in it, like straight peanut butter. And as soon as I took a bite, I didn't even swallow it because I knew there were nuts in
He
it.
was like, fuck.
I was just like, fuck. And so I spit it out and I go back to the school, which was like right down the street. I'm like literally, Carson was driving her big ass fucking minivan and my head is hanging out the window and I'm just like,
trying to get air.
like trying to
Out
get
of-
air,
out of
trying to
fucking,
freaking breathe.
What's that Ari Aster movie?
Oh yeah, Hereditary.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that if anything,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that was me. I was the girl from Hereditary. If you haven't seen Hereditary,
Don't watch it.
you should
It's a
watch
beautiful
it.
work of art, and you should watch it, but don't
But
watch
it
it because
fucks you up.
it is
It's scary.
It is dread-inducingly scary. Anyway, keep
Yeah.
going.
We go back to the nurse's office and I'm like, she has my EpiPens and I'm like, I just ate nuts, like I can't breathe, like I'm not feeling good, my throat's closing up. And she's just like, okay, like let me grab you your EpiPens. So she gives me my EpiPens. She kind of screwed up doing that too. She like didn't take them out of the plastic case and didn't take the safety lock off, and I'm sitting there like I'm gonna fucking die. And then I'm tweaking,
You
and
gotta
she's
think
like,
that like that shit is basic.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to fucking
and she was just
administer an EpiPen.
yeah, and she was like, I was an ER nurse for a bajillion years. I'm like, you should really know how to do this. Like, what the fuck? And so she called 911 because I had to go to the hospital because I'm super allergic to nuts. All these EMTs come in looking fine as hell, and I'm like literally 5 male EMTs come in and they're all touching
Like,
me. They're
"Alright.
all just like, how are you feeling?
What can we do? Are you
honey?"
okay?
They're like, let me touch your shoulder. Let me take your BP. And I'm just like, I'm sweating.
You can do anything you want.
I'm
sir.
sweating and I'm puffing up like fucking Joan Rivers. Like I was a mess. I felt like Frankenstein and I was just so absolutely mortified, embarrassed. And they're just like, okay, we're going to take you. We're going to put you in the EMS truck. Like, we're going to take you to the ambulance. I was like, cool. Okay, I'll walk. And they're like, no, you can't walk. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can fucking walk. I know my limits right now. And they're just like, please get in the gurney. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, this is really embarrassing. They're just like, just get in. It'll make it easier. So I get in the gurney and they fucking have me like laying down in this gurney, getting wheeled out of the high school. And I'm just like
God
red
damn.
because I'm flushed because I'm having an allergic reaction. But
Yeah,
also
like a
I'm so
life-threatening-
embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm so absolutely embarrassed.
Oh,
Some
God, I'm
kid,
so sorry.
everyone stops because they see a person getting wheeled out of the high school. Some dude stops, look at me, starts doing a slow clap.
Oh my
And
God.
I just like I just felt so embarrassed.
That's so good.
And the dean of the
That's
high
so
school had to
funny.
come with me because I
Slominski?
was a minor. No, it was Thatcher.
Oh my God.
Thatcher, Mr. Thatcher had to come with me, and he was just sitting there. And when I'm nervous, I just start making fun of people. So I was making fun of him. I was making fun of the EMTs. I was making fun of everybody, and everyone was
When I
laughing.
get nervous, I make fun of.
I do.
My
It was
favorite.
so bad. Some dude. Oh my God. It was just horrible. And everyone. I swear to God, I got asked what I wanted to do with my life 15 times that day, and I was just like, yeah, I want to be a nurse. And they're just like, oh, And I'm just like,
Don't.
yeah, I know I'm dying right now. Just fucking leave me alone. Like, God, that was bad. That was a bad one.
That's fantastic.
It's so funny, but
It's
like,
the best thing I've ever
it's
heard.
so funny, but that was the most humiliated I've felt in my life. Because, like, I can't help it.
Yeah. I remember you had an allergic reaction. I took you to a hospital that was half an hour away in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
And I remember the administering of the EpiPen. I was like, do you know how to do it? And you're like, yeah. And you weren't having it. You had something that had like trace amounts. So
I
you
literally don't even know what
I
happened
don't know how,
that
because
day.
the person where you had it, they also had a nut allergy.
And their dad was a doctor, too.
I know. So
like,
I don't
was
understand
fine.
what happened, but maybe it just was like in a package with something, and it just whatever.
That's fine.
But
I'm super allergic.
but either way, you were like, I don't feel so good. I'm kind of having trouble breathing. I might
Yeah.
need to go to the
I
hospital.
had like
and
a
I was
rash.
like, do you need to go to the hospital? And you're like, yeah, I should go to the hospital. And I was like, get in my car. And we got in my car, and I went 75 miles an hour down 176 through Mundelein. I was just like, I am
Libertyville.
getting you to a goddamn hospital right now.
I shot up my EpiPen in the car. I was nervous, and it was just a mess. It
Yeah.
was just a fucking mess.
I remember you were like, I've never done it. I haven't done this for myself in like a really long time. And I was like, do you know how to do it? And you're like, yeah, I know how to do it. And I was like, okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. And then you did it. I just counted down really fast and really loudly.
So scared.
And you were just like, ah, and just did it. It was actually very funny.
It was
But,
really
like,
funny.
I'm glad, like, at that moment, I know that I was behaving dangerously, but I feel
But
like
hey,
in
I
a
needed it.
spiritual way, we were the perfect people to be around each other in that moment.
We really were, because I really needed somebody to just be like, fucking do it, bitch.
I
Go.
know. I was like, I'm gonna count from 3. 3, 2, 1. You're like, ah.
I did it.
Okay, we got time for like one more.
One
but
more?
Maybe we'll record a couple more and just
Should
post them separately.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Do we want to do the drunk one?
Do whatever
Or
one
do-
you want to answer most, because I feel bad because I've kind of dominated these ones.
That's fine. What?
It's raining again. Also.
Okay,
I'm not sure
what's
if you
the
guys can
most
hear it, but-
embarrassing thing you've done while drunk? Actually, no, I changed my mind.
God.
What is the
Oh, God.
weirdest thing you have ever done for your significant other? You wanna go?
Can we answer the first one?
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
Sorry.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've done while drunk? We'll just edit it out. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It's fine.
No, we'll share it as like a thing. We'll talk about it. But
Okay.
what's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done when I was drunk? Well, you have a couple answers.
I have
one.
so many
so
answers.
I'll go first since I just have a short answer.
Fair enough.
The time that I was the most embarrassed. Well, okay, first of all, my rule is that if I get drunk enough that I fall, I'm cut off and it's time for me to go home.
That's a good rule.
And
I should follow that.
and I have followed that rule for my entire career as a drinker, which has been
You're a better
4
person than
years
I
now.
am. Better person than I am.
But one time I was trying to dance with a girl at a party after I had just broken up with my girlfriend when I was a freshman.
Mhm.
And I was like vibing to a song by the Saplings. Shout out, love you, the Saplings.
Shout out. Love the sapling. So
love the
fucking good.
Saplings. And I fucking fell over directly into one of their monitors.
Oh no.
And like I stood up and fixed it, and I wasn't even that drunk. I just lost my balance. It was, but I was like, nah, man, that's the rule. You're drinking. Go the fuck home. And I just
Cut
left.
off.
I was
Wow,
just like,
that's
I was like, go to bed,
better
go to
than
bed,
me.
you idiot. But the most thing I've done was actually being at Toadstool.
Oh.
Thanksgiving of 2019.
Thanksgiving of 2019 was a wild night.
I don't remember why I was upset. I was so depressed at that time.
Yeah.
I was so depressed because I just had so much going on. I was spread so thin. I
Yeah.
was applying to grad schools,
I remember
worrying about
that.
my degree recital. I was so sad. And my relationship with a person, I wasn't officially dating a person, but I had a very volatile relationship with a person that, for all intents and purposes, was dating someone.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like beginning to deteriorate at that point.
Mhm.
And I remember I had a gin and tonic, then I had another, then I had another, then I had a Red Bull vodka, then I had a Red Bull vodka.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the next day.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my dad, like, I don't really remember much of last night. I was at one of my dad's shows.
Mhm.
We were there, and
Yeah.
Carson was there. One of the two last things that I remember is asking Carson if she wanted a drink.
Do you remember buying me a shot of tequila?
No.
Okay.
Wait, yes, and a woman bumped into me. And
Yeah,
I
and then it
spilled
spilled
most
half
of
of
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I still took it because I love tequila.
Yeah, because you were like, "Hey, I ain't no bitch," and then did it. But that was really embarrassing. But the thing that was most embarrassing is I was like, the last thing I remember is buying Carson a drink because I was low-key trying to impress her. And I'm just built that way, man. I'm sorry.
It
But,
happens. Carson's a hottie.
No comment because I want to have her on as a guest.
That's fine.
But
She's my babe.
But then I said to my dad the next morning, I was like, yeah, I remember this song, and he was like, that was the last song of the,
And the first
set. That was halfway through the gig. You were there for the rest of the gig. My brain must have just
died.
Autopilot brain is an incredible thing.
It
I don't
really
remember.
is.
I'm not kidding you. I don't remember anything except trying to speak German to my sister.
Yes.
And my mom was like, "You were fine all night." I don't know what was going on.
Well,
my mom was also probably.
yeah, she was probably drunk.
a little
She's probably a
blasted.
little tipsy.
But you were
as
like,
we like to call
you
it.
weren't weird.
But
And I asked a lot of people. I was like, "Was I too much last night?" And they
no,
were like,
you
"No,
were
man,
fine. You were fine, but I was also very drunk that night too.
I remember my sister said to me, "Yeah, you went outside at one point just to get some air, and it was for like kind of a long time." And I thought back to it. It was raining that night.
I
so
don't
I
even
just stood
remember
outside
that.
in the
I
rain
literally don't even
just
remember
so
that.
I could, like, catch my
Okay.
breath. Oh my god. And then I went home, immediately fell asleep in the car, woke up, got back home, and then I tried to say goodnight to my sister in German. And she was like, "What are you saying?" And I was like, "Bis später." No. Like, it was really funny. But
I didn't know about that until the next day because coincidentally, another drunk thing that I did that night. I have so many bad
I
drunk
know.
stories.
So give me your few.
Give me my few. Okay, so the same night, if we're gonna stick up the same story, that
Yeah,
same
why
night
not?
I also got very drunk, and Carson was there, my really good friend, our really good friend. She's my best friend, like absolutely one of my best friends, favorite people in the world, and I guess we took a picture. I guess at some point in the night I said, "I still love you even though I'm allergic to peanuts," which I still don't know what that means.
Oh my god.
But there's a
Oh my
picture of
God.
us, and she quoted me saying that. So thank you for putting up with me, Carson. But also that same night, Carson drove me home back to your place
Yeah,
because we
you
were
s-
having a sleepover
Did
or
you
whatever.
sleep over?
Yeah, we all slept. I could not drive. No.
Well, I know,
No.
but I guess I don't
We
remember you
all
sleeping
slept
over.
over. Carson and I stopped at a Jewel Osco, which is a grocery store chain in the Midwest, probably just
people
in
know that.
Illinois.
Yeah.
And she bought like a Sutter Home, whatever it is, bottle of wine.
Ugh.
Yeah, and we like came back to your place, and me, Hallie, and her were drinking that, and just like talking. But then I realized that I didn't have my phone, and I only had one sock on, and I don't know what happened. And I was just like, "Fuck it, I don't fucking know what happened."
You just didn't have your phone. You were like, whatever.
I was just too drunk to even realize. And then finally, like later at the night, probably like, I don't even know, like 2:30 in the morning, I was just like, "Wait, where the fuck is my phone?" I was just like, "I'm going to go check the car." Carson is parked on the side of the road by like the sidewalk
house,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, by the curb. My phone is in the fucking curb. It's just like in the curb. Just absolutely there. And I was just like, "Oh, oops. Oopsies, I was drunk." Like, whatever. Like, and then I go back, fall asleep with just one sock on. And then the next morning, I find out that you're speaking German to your sister. And like all
don't
this
remember.
shit that I said, I don't remember either. And then I was just like, "Damn, I don't know where the fuck my sock is." I tore apart your basement looking for my sock. And then I was like, "Whatever, it's fine. I'll just drive home with one sock on. I have a bajillion socks." I'm walking out your front porch. My sock is just laying on your driveway.
How?
Absolutely
How did the
soaking
sock-
wet.
How did the sock get off your
Absolutely
foot
soaking wet.
between where Carson parked and my fucking house?
I really
do not
don't know.
understand
I
that at
I
all.
still don't know. I have so many gin. It's gin.
It's gin.
It's gin.
I still have a hard time drinking gin because I just remember that night.
But
woke
I
up with
love
the
gin.
nastiest hangover.
Okay, I have never puked or been super hungover from gin though. That's the thing.
I've never puked from alcohol. Period.
Okay,
I wanna
you're
say-
better than I am. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
but
tell you is that you
You're
fucking
better.
suck.
I get it. Thanks, but I can outdrink you like nothing.
That is true.
So
If I had
whatever.
your max alcohol consumed in one sitting,
On an empty stomach is probably bigger than yours.
Okay.
Maybe not, but
If I ever had as much alcohol as the most alcohol you've ever had, I legitimately would die.
one time I had 25 shots in a night.
Yeah.
Not to brag, that's not good. You should not do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Eric had 30
Okay.
because Eric is a freak of
Wow.
nature. But
Yeah, he's good for
to
him.
quote Walter Kasmer, he really is the embodiment of the phrase "your body is a wonderland."
Yeah, really. Good for Eric.
He woke up with he had it was my 21st birthday, and he had 30 shots.
Oh my God.
We killed the biggest like the $70 bottle of Grey Goose in a
Oh my
night.
God.
Him and a couple friends pitched in to get it for me.
Holy shit.
I
can't do vodka though.
and I had like a bunch of friends over, and we all were drinking it, and I was hammered, but at the same time I knew that I had to fly back home the next day. And that Eric was going to give me a ride to the airport. At the end of the night, Eric was like, there's probably like 3 shots in here. And I was like, fucking drink it. He was like,
Okay.
Bottoms up.
Look.
That motherfucker did not. He disrespected
Wow.
that bottle of vodka.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
anyway.
Do I have another? Should I share another drunk story?
One more, and then we gotta go.
One more?
We're over. We're about 10 minutes over an hour now.
Oh, okay.
You're fine. The one that we uploaded last was an hour 15.
Okay,
so
we're
cool.
good. We're good. Okay, so my next drunk story was this past semester. I hadn't gone out in a very long time because last semester in school was very rough for me. I had a lot of things going on in my life. And my very, very good friend Natalie, who was in the a cappella group in college with me, was like, let's go out. We haven't gone out in a very long time. Let's go out to the Toad. The Toad is our shitty school bar that your feet stick to the floor. Somebody literally shit on the dance floor. Like, it's a disgusting intergalactic bar because I swear to God, aliens go there in like people clothes. It's just a weird place. So we go out to the Toad. We start drinking at her place. We get really fucked up. And by the time I get to the bar, I'm already fucked up. I see my very good friend Adam, who was 5th year when I was a freshman. And he was also in the a cappella group. He invited us over to his place. His place had 4 golden retrievers, and we would just get shit-faced.
Oh
and
my
he
God,
would, like,
that's
drive us
incredible.
home. It was the best thing ever. That was, like, the highlight of my college experience, is just being drunk as fuck and just, like, having 4 dogs lick me. Like, that sounds really bad, but, like,
No, that's
just,
godsend.
like,
That's incredible.
It's amazing. And I saw him at the bar, and I was like, oh, my God, Adam, like, let me buy you a drink. Because I got gin drunk, and when I get gin drunk, I turn into, like, I don't know, California housewife or something, like a Beverly Hills housewife. So I see Adam, and I start talking to him, and it's like 3:00 in the morning, and he was just like, oh, I'm here with some of my friends too. Like, do you want to go get some Mexican food? Because we have this Mexican restaurant called El Palmar that stays open very late. So I was like, fuck it, yeah, let's fucking go. I leave my coat and phone at the bar. Leave my entire coat and phone at the bar.
You lose stuff.
I lose stuff when I get gin drunk like no other. And I have my purse, but he was just like, don't you need your coat? And I was just like, fuck it. I don't need it. And so I just
that shit's unnecessary.
just left it at the bar. We go to El Palmar. I invite my friend Adam and his 2 friends back to my apartment. And we're all just sitting there eating Mexican food. And I go to bed. And I wake up and I don't remember anything. Meanwhile, I can't find my phone. My parents are coming to visit me. And I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? So I texted my friend Natalie on like Messenger. Then I asked to borrow her phone. I go to her apartment. And she's just like, you disappeared halfway through the night, but also I don't remember. And I was like, I was with Adam, but also I don't remember. I had to get my phone and coat at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. When the bar opened.
That's like a walk of shame in and of itself. It was
so bad. I was so drunk. I don't know what happened, but I have too many drunk people stories.
You do get drunk pretty frequently.
I do. It's junior year was when I went off of
yeah,
college.
You were wild. I was
also
like,
of high school.
bruh, right now I'm just like in a committed long distance relationship being a simp. Like it was my like whole world. I was just like simping as fuck.
Simping with the finger
Simping,
tips
yeah.
touching. Whatever. I'm shy. I'm a simp.
baby emoji.
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh my fuck. This disgusting.
You were
disgusting.
a simp. You were a simp.
I'm the definition of a simp.
No, you're not.
Dude, fucking
No,
yes,
you're
I
not.
am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Absolutely.
No, you're not.
Absolutely.
No,
I would
you're
definitely-
not.
Dude, I would bend over backwards for just like an ounce of attention from a woman. Like, believe me, I am such a fucking simp.
I mean, it happens. But like also junior year, I went fucking off. But like I was
That's true.
also kind of seeing someone
Yeah.
that was weird. But also I partied like no other that year.
I had a lot of parties at my apartment that year, but only because I was just like, haha, I'm dead inside.
The amount of times I showed up hungover or possibly still drunk to class
I was still drunk
was
in class.
too high.
I was still drunk in one of my history classes. That shit was bad. I'm so sorry, Jane Sylvester. I'm
I
not
had,
gonna lie to you.
like-
I showed up to one of your music history classes still drunk. And one time also I turned around to a friend of mine. She sneezed, and I turned around and I was like, "That's enough!" In the middle of a lecture.
Jesus.
And they were like, "Oh my
Jesus.
god!" And my professor literally stopped. She was like, But I was just fucking around. But I was so hungover, and I just was like, "Shut up."
For our
Like,
spring fling, my junior year, my really good friend at school, Martini, and we just were taking Everclear Jello shots in our mental health class. Like
that's taking care of your mental health.
That's-
If
that's
not taking care of
nursing
your
in a
mental health, I don't know what
nutshell.
is. So,
nursing in a nutshell. You work hard, play hard. There you
yeah,
go.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Well-
we should wrap it for today's episode. We keep going
Yes.
over an hour. Are we gonna stop?
But- Yeah,
We'll,
we gotta
you know
stop.
what? Maybe we'll
figure it out.
record a couple
crack it
more
down.
truth or truths and upload them as a special little thing on our Patreon.
Yeah.
So, check that out. We'll link it in the description. All right. We love you, lovelies. Thank you for listening
Thank
to our podcast.
you.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.